UFC Vegas 110. These are my full card predictions and breakdown. I'm excited to break down this whole entire card and give you guys my picks. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's jump into the first fight of the night. So first fight of the night, we got Alencar taking on Carnelossi. And in this fight, I'm going Alencar. I think Alencar, she's going to use the wrestling in this fight. I think she's going to grind out Carnelossi to a decision win. Alencar, she also throws like decently quick combos on the feet, but mainly tries to use her wrestling and dominate the pace of the fights. Carnelossi, I would say, has got decent ground game. On the feet, she's very stiff, and I see her getting, honestly, caught on the feet against Alencar. But I do see her getting taken down and controlled in this fight. So I'm going to go Alencar to get it done. I think Carnelossi, I don't know if she can maybe land something decent on the feet, but I can't really see her landing. She throws like decently powerful punches, but she's very stiff. Like she's tight as fuck on the feet, and I see her getting touched up a little bit on the feet, and then I see Alencar getting the takedown and controlling the fight. The odds on this fight, we got Carnelossi sitting at a plus 180, and Alencar is the minus 210 favorite. I do see Alencar being able to get it done. I think she's going to use the wrestling, push the pace of the fight, get Carnelossi down to the ground, and I see her winning the decision. Next fight of the night, we got Rowe taking on Sean Hyun Ko. Sean Hyun Ko is coming off that big underdog win against Oban Elliott, where I actually picked him to win in that fight, and he was a huge underdog, and he was able to control Oban Elliott, beat him up on the feet, beat him up on the ground. Just absolute domination. And he's taking on Rowe. Rowe's coming off that win against Lusa, where earlier in the fight, Lusa was touching him up a little bit. It was competitive, I would say, but Lusa was able to connect with some big shots. He dropped Rowe at one point. He might have dropped him more than once, if I'm not mistaken. But Lusa eventually gassed out, didn't have nothing else to give Rowe, and Rowe was able to pepper him up against the cage and stop him. And in this fight, I'm going to go Hyun Ko to win. Hyun Ko. I'm going Ko to win the fight. I think Ko's going to be able to tag Rowe with the left hand. I think he's going to be throwing a lot of straight shots. And I see him being able to connect with a good left straight on Rowe. Rowe stands in a very Muay Thai style stance. I would say it's slightly square, but he does have solid boxing. Rowe is going to be trying to keep the distance on Ko, but I do see Ko being able to close the distance on Rowe. I see Ko being able to come inside, throw a big straight shot, mix it up inside with Rowe, and I think Rowe is going to struggle with Ko's speed and power. I see Ko being able to get it done. I'm going to lean a finish for Seok Hyun Ko. I think he's going to be able to finish Rowe. Rowe, to his credit, he does got good striking. He can bang. He can technically box, I would say. That's his style. He likes keeping it very, very patient and technical and staying on the outside, throwing a lot of 1-2s, a couple leg kicks in the mix. But I do see Seok Hyun Ko being able to get it done. I think Kyo's going to be pushing the pace of this fight, and he's going to be putting Rowe on the back foot, putting a lot of pressure on Rowe, and I see him winning the fight. I'm going to go a second-round stoppage for Ko. So I'm going a second-round KO for Ko. And the odds on this fight, we got Ko sitting at a minus 190 favorite, and Rowe is the plus 165 underdog. I don't really see Rowe being able to get it done. Rowe, he could have some success on the feet, but ultimately I do see Ko being able to do the better damage on the feet, and I see Ko being able to get it done. So I'm going Ko by a second-round stoppage. Next fight of the night, we got Montserrat Conejo Ruiz taking on Ardelean. Ruiz is on a 3-fight losing streak. Hasn't been looking too great. In her last fight, she looked like a dwarf compared to Eduarda Mora. And she was throwing some she was trying on the feet, throwing a couple overhand shots, but ultimately she just got controlled, dominated, and eventually Moore was able to get the finish. Alice Ardelean, I would describe her as a striker. She's got some decent ground game as well, decent clinch work. But she likes to keep it on the feet, throw good elbows in the clinch. She likes to strike. And I would say this is an interesting match. Ruiz has got good wrestling. I even like the way she be throwing shots on the feet. And I'm taking Ruiz to win this fight. I'm going the underdog in Ruiz. I think Ruiz is going to be able to find success with an overhand shot on Alice Ardelean. And I think Ardelean's going to get thrown off by that. She's going to get connected with a big overhand punch. Ruiz be thrown with a lot of power. And I like her wrestling. She could pressure up Alice Ardelean up against the cage. And I see her winning the fight. If we look at the odds, she is sitting at a plus 300 underdog. And Ardelean is the minus 400 favorite. But I have a feeling Ruiz is going to be able to win this fight. Ruiz is on a 3-fight losing streak. She's coming into this fight ready to fucking go, all right? She's not coming to lose. She needs to win, or she's going to be most likely getting cut very soon. Ruiz, I think, beats Alice Ardelean in this fight. Ardelean, yeah, she's got some solid pop on the feet. She mixes it up pretty well. She's coming off that win against Rayane dos Santos, where she was able to beat up Dos Santos in that fight. She was able to win by decision. But in this fight with Ruiz, I think Ruiz is going to be able to connect on the feet. And then I see her being able to have success with the wrestling. So I'm going Ruiz to win this fight. I'm going to go with decision. This is going to be a back-and-forth fight. I don't think this is a super one-sided fight. But I do think Ruiz is going to be able to squeeze out the victory. I'm going Ruiz to get it done by a decision. I see her beating Alice Ardelean in this fight. And I like her to win. Give me Ruiz by decision. Next fight of the night, we got Ketlen Vieira taking on Norma Dumont. I'm going to go Norma Dumont. I think Dumont should be able to control the pace of this fight. She's going to be staying at range, using a lot of leg kicks, throwing a lot of jabs, keeping Vieira at the distance. Vieira, she's going to be trying to push Norma Dumont up against the cage, use the wrestling, and grind out a boring decision win. And I just can't pick her to win, even though there is a slight part of me saying Vieira might be able to do a snooze fest and grind out Norma Dumont to a decision win. But I'm going to go Dumont. I think she's the more active striker. She likes mixing it up on the feet. And I think she'll be able to stop the takedowns of Vieira. Have you seen the fucking legs on Norma Dumont? She's going to throw those fucking thunder thighs back, stop the takedowns of Vieira, and I can't see her losing the fight. Well, maybe a part of me could see her getting grinded out. But you know what I'm saying? I'm going Norma Dumont to get it done. The odds on this fight, we got Vieira sitting at a plus 142, and Norma Dumont is the minus 163 favorite. Norma Dumont, I like her to win the fight. I think she's going to be able to stay at range, use that karate bouncing-esque style. She's going to be touching up Vieira with the jabs, throwing a lot of straight shots, mixing in the good leg kicks. And I think she's going to chop up Vieira. I'm going to see her winning this fight by a decision, so I'm going Norma Dumont to win this fight by a decision over Ketlen Vieira. Next fight of the night, we got Dante Johnson taking on Cedricus Dumas. Dante Johnson is coming off that win in the Contender Series against Darian Abbey, where he was able to blitz Darian Abbey and finish him after landing some big overhand shots. Cedricus Dumas is coming off that no contest against Zach Reese. Before that, lost to Alen Zacic. And before that, he was able to pick up a win over Dennis Talulin, where he actually looked pretty decent in that fight. He was throwing a lot of good jabs, keeping Talulin off of him, piecing him up on the feet, staying at range. And in this fight, I'm going to take Cedricus Dumas to get it done. I'm not sold on this Dante Johnson kid. He hasn't caught my attention yet. Yes, he got a big knockout win over Darian Abbey. But who the fuck is Darian Abbey, all right? He's just a tall dude, scary looking, but he fought nobodies. He was 7-4. Dante Johnson has not fought anybody. He's fought all cans. Nobody impressive. And this is going to be his toughest fight. Cedric Dumas is going to be a tough fight for Dante Johnson. And I see Dumas being able to get it done. He's going to have the range over Dante Johnson. He's going to have the height. We got Cedric Dumas sitting at a 79-inch reach. Dante Johnson is sitting at a 74-inch reach. He's 5'8". Cedric Dumas is 6'2". Dumas likes keeping fights at range, throwing jabs. And he's got a fucking pretty stiff jab, if you ask me. And I think he's going to be successful in this fight against Dante Johnson. Obviously, Dante Johnson, he's got that blitzing power, a lot of fucking KO early finishes. He's going to be trying to come out fast against Cedric Dumas and throw bombs. But I'll tell you guys right now, Dante Johnson, if he doesn't land something big in the first round, he's losing the fight. And I think Dumas is going to be able to get out of that first round. And I think he's going to get a win in this fight. I think he's going to pepper up Dante Johnson on the feet. I think he's going to be throwing a lot of straight shots, keeping Dante Johnson off of him, sting him with a big fucking stiff jab. And I'm going Dumas to win this fight. Dumas, I'm not sleeping on him yet. I know everybody's lost full hope in Dumas. Yeah, he's had a little bit trouble in his criminal backgrounds, but I'm not sleeping on Dumas in this fight. The odds, we got Dumas sitting at a plus 285 and Dante Johnson is the minus 350. I don't know why everybody is so afraid of this Dante Johnson guy, thinking he's this hot shit. Yeah, he's got big power and everybody's thinking he's going to be able to land some crazy shot on Dumas. But besides that, Dante Johnson, he runs in blitzing you with his chin up in the air. He's not super technically sound. He's nothing special in my opinion. Yeah, he's got decent pop, but if he can't connect with a big overhand shot, I think Dumas is the better fighter. I think Dumas is going to pepper him up on the feet, and I think Dumas is going to be able to beat Dante Johnson in this fight. I think Dante Johnson just has a puncher's chance, and I don't think he's going to be able to do that. So I'm going Dumas to win. I like Dumas to win by decision. I think he outclasses Dante Johnson. So I'm going the underdog, Cedric Dumas, to beat Dante Johnson by a decision. Next fight of the night, we got Timmy Cuamba taking on Chang Ho Lee. Chang Ho Lee likes to aggressively come forward, get the opponents to the ground, blitz them with takedowns. Timmy Cuamba, very fast on the feet, throws a lot of quick combinations, a lot of fast straight shots. We just saw him beat Romero in his last fight where he was able to get the finish. And Romero is no fucking slouch. Romero, he's got very good striking. He dropped Onama when they fought. And I think Timmy Cuamba is going to win this fight. I'm going Timmy Cuamba over Chang Ho Lee. Chang Ho Lee, I think he gets caught with something when he's rushing in, trying to land the takedown. Chang Ho Lee is going to be trying to grind out Timmy Cuamba on the ground. But I like Cuamba to win the fight. I think he's the fastest striker. And I think he's going to connect with something big on Chang Ho Lee. Chang Ho Lee just got that win over Cortavius Romeus where he grinded him out. And eventually got the ground and pound finish. Before that, Long Zhao in the split. Could Chang Ho Lee grind out Timmy Cuamba on the ground? It's a possibility, but I do think Cuamba's going to be able to land something on the feet. So I'm going Cuamba to win. The odds on this fight, we got Cuamba sitting at a minus 118. Chang Ho Lee's the minus 102. Pretty even line on this fight, but I am going to lean Cuamba to get it done. I think he's the quicker striker, the faster striker. I think he's got more pop in his shots, and I like him to win this fight. I think he could potentially finish Chang Ho Lee. So I'm going to go Cuamba by... This could be early. Cuamba could land something quick in this fight. I'm going to go a first-round finish for Cuamba. I think he catches Chang Ho Lee when he's coming in, trying to get a takedown. So I'm going Cuamba by a first-round TKO, KO. Next fight of the night, we got Kevin Christian taking on Billy Elekana. I'm going Elekana in this fight. Kevin Christian, all he's got is a lot of range. So he's 6'7", 80-inch reach. So he's intimidating when you fucking look at him on paper. He's got a long range. Billy Elekana, I do think he should be able to close the distance on Kevin Christian and land some big shots on the feet. So I'm going to go Billy Elekana to get the win. Kevin Christian, he's got some decent jiu-jitsu as well. If he gets taken down, he's dangerous from the back, or he's dangerous when he's on his back. He's got solid submissions. But I'm not impressed with what I see from Kevin Christian. He don't look that great whenever I watch him. And I like Billy Elekana's striking to win this fight. I think he's going to land big on the feet. And even in this fight, I think we could see Billy Elekana pick up a knockout over Kevin Christian. I think he could land some big overhand shot. I'm going to go Billy Elekana by a finish. The odds on this fight, we got Elekana sitting at a minus 260, and Kevin Christian is the plus 220. Kevin Christian is a long-ass motherfucker. He's got big range, a lot of height, but I can't really see him beating Billy Elekana. I think Elekana is a little too good for him on the feet, and I don't see Kevin Christian being able to win. The only way I see Kevin Christian winning the fight is if he can wrap up some type of submission on Billy Elekana. But besides that, I'd say Billy Elekana is a pretty confident pick. Next fight of the night, we got Nascimento taking on Cody Durden. Cody Durden is not winning this fight. I'm going Nascimento. I think he submits Cody Durden. I think Nascimento is going to be able to mix it up a slight bit on the feet, but I think eventually he's going to find the back of Cody Durden and land, I think he gets, some type of rear naked choke. Cody Durden, he's decent boxing, likes to sit in the pocket. He's got solid wrestling as well, but I don't think his jiu-jitsu is going to be on the same level as Nascimento, and I think that's where this fight's going to be. I think this fight's going to be on the ground. Nascimento grinding him out a little bit and eventually getting the submission win. So I'm going Nascimento to win this fight by a sub. The odds, we got Nascimento sitting at a minus 260, and Cody Durden is the plus 220. I do like Nascimento to win this fight. I would say I'm pretty confident that Nascimento should be able to win. So I'm going Nascimento. I think he wraps up a sub on Cody Durden. Next fight of the night, we got Charles Radtke taking on Daniel Frunza. Charles Radtke, he likes sitting in the pocket. He likes banging big shots. He's a little stiff on the feet, but he does throw with a lot of power. Daniel Frunza, I would say, fights with a little more range on him. He keeps his lead hand a little slightly more out. Charles Radtke is a little more tight in a defensive shell. But I do think Radtke gets it done. I'm going Charles Radtke to win this fight. I think he's going to be able to land some big shots against Daniel Frunza. I think he's going to be ripping big combinations. Daniel Frunza, he's going to be sitting in the pocket a bit with Charles Radtke, but he does got the range advantage over Radtke, and he's going to be trying to keep the distance. But I think Charles Radtke is going to be having constant forward pressure, pushing Daniel Frunza on the back foot. And eventually, I think he breaks in, closes the distance, and lands some bombs over Daniel Frunza. And I think we could see a finish for Charles Radtke. So I'm going Charles Radtke to finish Daniel Frunza. I think he could potentially get a KO in the, maybe I'm going to say, second round. Charles Radtke is sitting at a minus 160, and Daniel Frunza is the plus 140 underdog. Daniel Frunza, solid boxing. He can rip some big shots. He's coming off that loss against Rhys McKee, where he got that nasty cut. But before that, he was getting absolutely peppered on the feet. But Daniel Frunza, he's going to be trying to keep Radtke off of him, but I think Radtke's going to constantly be coming forward, and I think he eventually lands some big shots. So I'm going Charles Radtke by a finish. I think we could see maybe a second round finish. I'm going to go a second round finish for Charles Radtke, but I don't know. I think Charles Radtke is going to be able to get a finish. Next fight of the night, we got Isaac Dulgarian taking on Yair Del Valle. I'm going Isaac Dulgarian. I think he's going to be able to grind out a decision win over Del Valle. I think he's going to use his wrestling, get this fight to the ground. Del Valle, solid striking, decent on the ground, But I think Isaac Dulgarian is going to win the fight. I think he's going to be able to get the fight to the ground. Del Valle's got some scary striking. He can land some big shots on the feet. He's also got decent ground game. I want to go Dulgarian to win, though. Del Valle, he could land some big shots on the feet. I'm going to go Dulgarian. Del Valle, I think he loses the fight. I think Dulgarian's going to be able to come out there, land the takedowns, grind out Del Valle. I think he's slightly better on the ground, and I see him being able to have a lot of success there. I think Del Valle is not going to be able to let off his shots nicely on the feet because he's going to be so scared of the takedowns. And I do think Dulgarian's going to be able to get it done. Interesting picks here. I don't know. Dulgarian? Is that a bad pick? Del Valle could come out there and win the fight. I don't know. The odds on this fight, we got Dulgarian sit at a minus 240, and Del Valle is the plus 205. Well, for some reason, I'm sitting here second-guessing Dulgarian. I'm not going to lie. Del Valle, he could potentially win this fight. That's what I'm thinking right now. This is going to be a fucking close fight. Dulgarian's going to be trying to fucking get the fight to the ground, but if Del Valle stops a takedown, Dulgarian's going to be in some fucking trouble, because I think Del Valle's going to crack him up on the feet. Del Valle's got solid ground, too. I'm going to stick to Dulgarian. I'm going to stick with what I initially had thought, but that's a scary pick. Del Valle could come out there, fuck up Dulgarian. I ain't even going to lie. But I'm going to go Dulgarian to squeeze out a decision over Del Valle, but low confidence. Next fight of the night, we got Jeremiah Wells taking on Themba Gorimbo. And I'm going Themba Gorimbo to win the fight. I think his slight range advantage is going to be what wins him the fight. Jeremiah Wells, I would say he fights very stiff. He comes forward throwing big shots, but I think he's going to be able to get caught coming in. I think Themba Gorimbo is going to be throwing a lot of straight punches, keeping the fight at distance, throwing a lot of leg kicks, and I see him winning the fight. I'm going Themba Gorimbo to win this one. I think he squeezes out either a late finish or he wins his fight by decision. The odds on this fight, we got Gorimbo sitting at a minus 144, and Jeremiah Wells is the plus 124 underdog. Jeremiah Wells is going to be trying to come forward, land big shots, and he's going to be trying to catch Themba Gorimbo. But I do think Gorimbo's going to be able to keep Wells off of him, land some good straight shots, throw a lot of leg kicks, and I think he squeezes out a late finish or he gets a decision win over Jeremiah Wells. Next fight of the night, we got Waldo Cortez Acosta taking on Delija. And I'm going the Salsa Boy to beat Delija. I think Delija is going to get caught with something big. Waldo Cortez Acosta, we know how he fights. He keeps the fights on the feet. He's got good boxing, throws a lot of heavy hands. He's coming off that loss against Spivak, where he was given a decently competitive fight. It wasn't a one-sided domination. And Delija is coming off that win against Tybura, where he was able to fucking finish him. But in this fight, I think Waldo Cortez Acosta is the pick. I think Costa is going to be able to land something big on the feet. Personally, the way Delija stands, he kind of keeps I don't know, the way he stands with that lead hand, I think he's going to be open to get caught with a big right hand. I think he's open for an overhand shot, and I think Cortez Acosta is going to be looking for that because he definitely saw that on the tape, too, when he was watching Delija. They're like, oh, let's go for that fucking big overhand right because he kind of leaves himself open a little bit. The way he stands, the way this fucking hand comes down, the way that shoulder is, it looks slightly awkward, and I think he's very open on that left side to get hit with a big overhand. So I'm going Cortez Acosta to knock out Delija. I think he's going to knock him out with a right hand. And I see him doing that. Like, I fully see it happen. I think Cortez Acosta flatlines Delija with a big overhand shot. Delija, he's got decent striking, decent clinch work. He throws some fast combinations on the feet, likes coming forward. But I think in this fight, Cortez Acosta is going to be able to land a huge overhand right, and I see him knocking the fuck out of Delija. The odds on this fight, we got Delija sitting at a minus 135 favorite, and Cortez Acosta is the plus 115. Cortez Acosta, slight underdog, and personally, I think he knocks out Delija. So I'm going Cortez Acosta to flatline Delija. I'm not sure what round. Could be early. But I think eventually he's going to be able to find the right hand over Delija. So I'm going Cortez Acosta to beat Delija by a KO. Next fight of the night, we're on to the main event. We got Steve Garcia taking on David Onama. I'm going Onama. I'm taking Onama to win the fight. Both of these guys are southpaws. Steve Garcia, or David Onama, he switches stances a lot, though. He's comfortable in both sides. Steve Garcia, his style, he comes forward very fucking wild. Aggressive, throws a lot of crazy shit. But he likes throwing a lot of wild, crazy shit coming forward at his opponents. David Onama, I would say, is a lot more composed than Steve Garcia is. Steve Garcia is going to be trying to overwhelm Onama, but I do think Onama is going to be able to catch Steve Garcia when Garcia is coming on the inside. I think Onama throws a stiff jab from either stance. I think he's going to be better at range than Steve Garcia, and I see him winning the fight. I think David Onama is going to be mixing it up with the leg kicks, pushing Steve Garcia, meeting him in the center, and I think he's going to be tagging up Garcia. I think Garcia is going to be trying to come at Onama like a fucking crazy person, but I think Onama is going to be able to stay composed and land from the outside and connect with Steve Garcia from range. Steve Garcia is going to be trying to come in close, throw a lot of crazy, wild, looping hooks. But I think Onama is more technically sound than Steve Garcia, and I think Onama wins this fight. I'm going to say Onama wins it by decision. He likes, I would say, more, I don't know, he kind of like, not point fighting, but he doesn't mind going to a decision is what I'll say. The odds on this fight, we got Onama sitting at a plus 110, and Steve Garcia is the minus 130. I like Onama to win the fight. I think he's the better boxer. I think he's more composed. Steve Garcia is very wild. Could he potentially come in wild and land something big on Onama? Potentially. Because that's a fight. Anything can happen. But the way I see it, I think David Onama is going to be able to stay more composed, keep it at range, hit Steve Garcia with some stiff jabs as he's coming in. I think he's going to throw off Steve Garcia because I think Steve Garcia is thinking he could just walk through David Onama. And I don't think he's going to. I think Onama's going to fucking connect with his chin. And I think Steve Garcia is going to get nervous. He's not going to come in like he normally does, throwing his wild shit. And I think Onama wins the fight. So I'm going David Onama to win this fight by a, do I say a decision or a late finish? He could potentially get a late finish here. He mostly does. He likes going to decision, though. That's the thing. This is a 5-rounder. I'm going David Onama by a decision. I think Onama is going to be able to pepper up Steve Garcia, keep it at range, stay on the outside, and win this fight by decision. So I'm going David Onama to defeat Steve Garcia by a decision. So those are my full card predictions for UFC Vegas 110, Steve Garcia versus David Onama. Let me know what you guys think of my picks. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you disagree. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.